Drew Rosenhaus's career is $7 billion in clients long. He was an agent at 22 years old. Good Lord, I remember those days. You were just out there taking big swings and taking heat. Now you're like a stately figure in this whole business. And you just made Tyreek Hill the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. So let's kind of take me as much as you possibly can, as transparent as you can be on the whole situation. Kansas City did make an offer. I mean, my understanding is they wanted to keep him. So take me through the last 48 hours if you could.
Yeah, and it really goes back. After the season, I approached the Chiefs, Colin, about doing an extension for Tyreek. They were open to it. We exchanged some proposals. And then the Davante Adams deal got done. And I reached out to the Chiefs and I shared with them that I felt that Davante's deal was the floor for Tyreek, and that Tyreek in the last year of his contract had earned the right to be the highest paid receiver in the NFL. We started negotiating, and they quickly saw that, that for them, that deal didn't make sense. And I don't want to speak for them, but they communicated to us that that wasn't going to work out. So I suggested, how about we explore a trade where everybody wins? Tyreek could land a windfall, and Davante Adams brought a first and second round pick, and I told the Chiefs that I was confident that they would get much more than that. Ultimately, they did. And the Chiefs did give me permission to work on a trade. And Miami was one of the teams that showed interest right out of the gate. We continued to negotiate with the Chiefs, but Tyreek just felt the best about the Dolphins. The contract obviously was superior. Playing in Florida was huge because Tyreek trains in Miami in the offseason. The Dolphins were a good team the last 2 years. They've won 19 games. They've got the potential to be even better this year. They brought in an offensive head coach in Mike McDaniel. They brought back their entire defense, which was one of the best in the league. Tyreek liked the idea of being close to his home. He lives in upstate Florida. He's from Southern Georgia, so that's why he said he's coming home. I mean, this feels like home for him, and everything added up. This is an up-and-coming football team, and he's excited about being here.
Do you ever get into a situation? I don't know who represents Mahomes. I don't know that. Off the top of my head, I think, is it Lee Steinberg? I don't even know if it Lee. I don't know who it is. It is Lee. Okay.
Yes.
So do you ever get into a situation where you have two clients that work together, like a receiver and a quarterback on a team, and you may not be doing one a favor by moving the other? Is that ever something that you think about?
Well, you really can't, Colin. You've got to compartmentalize for each of your clients. For example, if Tyreek had gone to the New York Jets, it could have impacted one of our clients on the New York Jets, who they just re-signed, Braxton Berrios.
Sure.
But just like I explained to Braxton, it's not like I can't bring Tyreek to New York if that's in his best interest, because it would negatively affect Braxton, and he gets that. So, I've been doing this for 34 years. I always am honest with my clients. Sometimes guys sign it with a new team and it impacts a player on the club, but our clients get that. And I always do what's best for each individual client within my control. And I don't control who gets cut, but I can control the type of contract that our guys get and their opportunity. And in this particular case, Tyreek felt really good about coming to Miami. We have a lot of clients on this football team.
Yeah.
You could make the case that, the Dolphins have had the best offseason. They added Teron Armstead, the great left tackle. They signed a couple of our clients, Chase Edmonds, the running back from Arizona, Connor Williams, the starting left guard from the Dallas Cowboys. They brought back Emmanuel Ogbah, who's one of our clients, who's one of the best players on the team. They re-signed their two starting linebackers we represent, Landon Roberts and Duke Riley. So, man, you look at Miami, they had Raheem Mostert and Keon Croson, and they've had a great offseason.
Yeah.
So Tyreek's excited to be a part of that tremendous offseason.
What's interesting is, as you know, there are cultural changes in all sports. About 7 years ago, if you couldn't shoot a three-pointer in the NBA, you were worthless. Dwight Howard went from relevant to irrelevant in an hour. And we have a cultural change in the NFL, which is happening, which every NFC team that made the playoffs had an offensive coach. The Dolphins have pivoted quickly to an offensive franchise, which I think, and I love Brian Flores. I think it's the right move. Rams, Zach Taylor, you can see what's happening in this league. The old defensive coaches, Pete Carroll, Mike Zimmer, Vic Fangio, even Belichick now. It doesn't feel as vibrant. But when the culture changes quickly and suddenly wide receivers are getting quarterback money in the last 2 years, when you call these franchises, are they mad at Drew Rosenhaus? Are they flabbergasted? This has happened, Drew, fast. We're talking quarterback money to wideouts. It feels like it happened overnight.
Yeah, so when the Chiefs gave me permission to reach out to the teams, I told every one of them what we were looking for. I told them that a part of the trade would be Tyreek would become the richest, highest paid receiver in NFL history, and that we were looking to beat the Adams contract on every level. And, I can tell you that no one really said to me, hey, that's unreasonable, or that's unrealistic, or that's out of whack, because Tyreek he's more than a receiver. He's a great return man.
Right.
He's a guy that can score from anywhere on the field. You put the ball in his hands. He's incredibly dangerous. He can make his own yards. He's an impact player when the ball's not even thrown to him, because teams have to worry about him. He takes the top off of the defense coverage-wise. You got to rotate his way. So people around the league know Tyreek is just a huge factor on all 3 downs and also on 4th down on special teams. So he's a weapon, and the Dolphins got the best offensive weapon in football. And we feel like had it not have been the Dolphins, the Jets would have been a great choice as well. And staying in Kansas City was on the table up until Tyreek made this decision.
Gronk, you represent him. What's the latest?
Really straightforward. Gronk hasn't decided whether or not he's going to play this season.
Wow.
He's still mulling it over. He's had a great run in Tampa, winning a world championship, getting close last year. Feels good. He's healthy. We've been talking to Tampa. We've had negotiations with them, and we've heard from many other teams in the league as well. And Rob has the opportunity to play this year if he wants to, but he has told me right now that he's undecided, and he's going to take some time and think about whether or not he wants to play. And obviously, we should find out here at some point this offseason. Yeah. When it is, the world's according to Gronk. So whenever he decides to make this decision, we'll be ready on our end, and we support him 100%.
All right. This is good stuff. Drew, I love bringing you on. Appreciate your transparency. Rosenhaus Sports, by the way, has Chris Olave, the receiver from Ohio State, who's probably the best receiver best college receiver I saw. So continued success. He's gonna do quite well, and the league is moving in his direction. I'll tell you that. Drew, thanks again.
Thank you, Colin.
You bet.
Take care.
You bet. Yeah, I mean, it's changed, folks. We got a different – I mean, I for years said receivers are icing. And then I had 3 years ago, I'm like, the whole world's changing. They're no longer icing. They're part of the cake. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd, or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.